Hello, everybody. I'm very happy to have you here. And it's a real pleasure to have Neil Dougan, Joanna Walton, Johanna Schönberger, and Britta Pfannkuch with us on the call today when we discuss the blessings of energetic healing. And my dear colleagues, I would like you to introduce yourself a bit and then we go in medias res. Who wants to start? Not everybody.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Good morning. My name is Britta, and I'm a healer and I'm a medium, and so I'm working with people who are very, soll ich alles in Englisch sagen, ne? We are talking only English, no? Yeah. So I'm a medium and a healer. This is my passion, to heal the people.
And you are from Germany.
Yeah, and I'm from Germany, naturally.
Well, I'll go next. I'm Neil Dougan. I'm from Australia, originally from New Zealand, just not so far away from Australia. And I would be described as an energy healer. I'm fascinated to hear Britta talking about, seeing herself as being a medium, because I think without any question, I would be a medium as well. But this is probably the first time I've ever thought of that description. So look, I'm really looking forward to hearing, about the great gifts that you've all got to offer. And I must also really thank you all for speaking, having this in English so that I can participate. I deeply appreciate the fact that you're actually speaking in a second language. So thank you.
You're welcome.
My name is Johanna Schönberger. I'm from Austria. I'm a nurse. And actually, I'm working with old people. And also, I'm educated in many methods of energetic healing. So I'm using physical things. Maybe the importance of them is the vibration, the energy. Healing herbs from Dr. Bach. Radionics, you need software and the computer program. Also, Angel's Energy from our wonderful Austrian Ingrid Auer. There are essence and oils and symbol cards. And I also love essential oils and the quality, yes, of young living. And in Austria, in German, we are not used to say I am ein Heiler. It's not allowed to say I'm a heiler because we know everybody has to bring it on his own. I can give inputs and I'm very blessed to be in very close contact to my spirits. And I can say I am, if I'm working in hospital, in with the old people in a special place. So I can be the whole person I can bring in with everything I am, and it comes through me.
Thank you.
I'm Joanna, also from Germany, and I have basically only started out on this path a year ago. So I was working in a big organization as a project manager until last year, and my whole journey started last year, developing, discovering all those alms that are there that we never learn about, that we are so cut off sometimes in our busy lives. And I have trained in different things during the course of the last 1.5 years. And the one thing that I'm starting out with is transformation work. And I'm basically supporting people to discover what beliefs they have that are still holding them back, to take their first steps into opening up to so much more that there is, as you said, God, the universe, everything that's there that is such a blessing in supporting us to heal.
Actually, we all came from very different lives into energetic healing. So you came from a big company and project management. Neil came from engineering. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I originally was a hypnotherapist in terms of this healing sort of approach, hypnotherapist and counsellor. And then I worked in engineering. I was a project manager, been involved as a project manager in very large projects, billion-dollar projects. And you know, I've really focused on this sort of energy work and, you know, the counselling and coaching and that type of thing for the last 10 years. But prior to that, I was an engineer, no question.
And Joanna was nursed on ICU units.
Right, okay.
Britta, you were a naturopath. Isn't that right? Heilpraktiker.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is now 22 years ago. I'm starting with this work, and 30 years ago with a medium, like from a child as. But before I had a travel agency, so 30 years ago or 35 years ago.
So first, I would like to hear from all of you. What was the thing that changed your life so that your path went so different to what you first started from?
Yeah.
I can say for me, it was a deadly heart attack, which converted me. How was it for you?
Well, for me, it was, I had a business failure. So I had a large, you know, very large multi-million-dollar business. And I had a business failure, and I'd been manic for some time. So like a psychiatric condition. And the manic, you know, the mania actually was fuel to actually take me through the business. So it allowed me to really persecute my way all the way through that. And I had a breakdown, so it was a depression-based breakdown, and so I was bipolar. And not only that, but I was also paranoid. And the opportunities for me to be able to go and get help when you're paranoid and depressed and manic all at once aren't too high. And so I endeavored to try and actually work out ways of healing myself. And it was in that journey of working out ways of healing myself that I got into this line of work.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was from a major breakdown. So I would have had I let a psychiatrist actually see me, they would have definitely put me away in a hospital somewhere. But I was too paranoid to let them anywhere near me.
Mm-hmm. Johanna, what made you change your mind?
It's said that 1987 there was the harmonic convergence, and I was waking up and say, okay, I'm with this journey, and my path will be love as good as I can. It's a lot of failure, and yeah. Also, I'm on my way since 30 years, and yeah, I did it like learning things and transform it and be it with me and bring it out in my way. So I'm on my way, on and on.
So you missed out on the big incident, on a business failure and on a heart attack.
Yeah, and husband says, oh, that's not good. You're not good enough to me. So
okay,
personal things.
This was it, okay.
Joanna,
what made you change your mind?
I think for me, it were also like some outer events, major events leading up to me not being happy at all in the life that I found myself. And it also started coming out in physical symptoms. Like I would have like a lot of fear, for example, that's kind of was blocking my whole system, that I couldn't even think properly anymore, or like the digestive system, like all those kind of stress responses that the body then just at some point says, no, that's not the way anymore to go. And yeah, since then I've kind of been on an adventurous path, like following what came my way, and yeah, just getting more and more courageous in jumping and trying out new things. And I would have never thought that it would lead me down that path, never. So I think I was in a big resistance also for a long time, but then I also deep inside I felt that there's something in it that's really, really, really good for me. And yeah, I think I'm also very sensitive, and I started feeling things, and that helped a lot, like starting to develop that trust in the benefits of everything, that I could really feel the small changes happening.
So Britta, what did make you give up your travel agency?
Yeah, in the beginning, I wanted to be a healer and also a medium. So but in the normal world, it wasn't allowed. It was scaring, and my parents put me all the time, not all the time, but sometimes, a lot of times in the hospital for the, I don't know, the streaming on the head. I don't know what is if I'm normal. So, so I went I was fluing in the outside of my life. So I was going outside of my heart, and I thought maybe I will find something there, but it was very empty and very sad. And so the travel agency was something to go out of into the world and maybe to explore something and to learn. But the point of return was that I had a very bad, not injury, but my back was so bad that the professors told me that I have to go in the wheelchair, and I can do Paralympics, but it's now done. And so I decided, I had an offer from a musical company to go on the stage, and also to manage the people there, and or to go in an advertising agency. And my heart told me I have to go there, because I will find there something which changed my life. I said, okay, but I would also go to the stage. I wanted to be a star. So, but I listened to my heart, and I went to this advertising agency, and there was my boss. He told me, you can't sit, and what. And so he showed me up, or he gave me a healer, which who healed my back and myself. And so I said, this I want to give back to the person, what I became, that I can walk and run, and that I feel myself. And so I followed my heart to bring this out, the energetic healings and everything. And then I made the healer, Heilpraktiker, the naturopath, because I said, when you are a medium and a healer, it's better to have some certificate. Now it doesn't exist. So now it exists also a healer certificate, I think, but 25 years ago it doesn't exist. So I said, okay, I have this sheet, and so nobody can hurt me.
And can blame you. And you have
a
license to work.
Yeah, but I'm also very interested in medicine things, as in studying medicine, therapies, and so I combined both, to see the people, what's happening, and then to help them from their heart and also from their soul and emotional area into their bodies, to heal all together. It's wonderful.
Interesting. So quite everybody here had a setback or a problem that was solved by the divine.
Yeah.
And by having this experience, we got to the point where we did trust the divine and work with it more and more. And I would like to hear a story from each of you on your experiences with your work. On the experience you made with one client and the work you did. From everybody, I would like to hear an example so that we can see what is possible.
Okay.
Who would like to start?
I can tell a short story. We are working with things, essential oils, using my hands. I'm listening. They can tell me. Maybe I have an idea to do it another way at home. They can smell, they can feel, maybe only vibrations, frequency. And I've been told they are leaving, going downstairs, and at the last door, they are feeling like heavy weight has gone. How? Yeah. It's a gift.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Absolutely, yeah. Look, I can go second. Originally I was trained as a clinical hypnotherapist, so working with an intellectual aspect, but also with the heart, with the emotions a lot. And for a long time I'd been working with a 5-mind model, so like a 5-brain, 5-mind model. And so it's simple enough for me to use frequency of my voice, or frequency of lights flashing, or tones beeping, or something like that, to put this head brain actually into a relaxed receptive state, in which I can then introduce all kinds of suggestions. And the suggestions can be words, or they can be just an intention, can be ideas that I'm holding, emotions that I'm holding, and many ways that actually can be done, the suggestion process. But if the head brain is actually relaxed, and it becomes far more receptive, and the minds become far more receptive. Because I was working with this model of all of these other brains around the body, so a thoracic brain all through under the rib cage, the heart organ, the lungs, and a gut brain all in through the intestines, the liver, and spleen, those organs. And of course then there's the pelvic brain around the bladder, pelvic floor, and so on, and then the spinal brain itself, including all of the musculature leading from the spine, is the 5th brain. And what I wanted to do was actually work out ways of training all of these other brains into a relaxed state, so that I could make suggestions. I could put an idea across to somebody which would be heard by these other brains in the body as well. And so I began researching this and working with this. I developed a machine which I'm still perfecting. I'm on version 4 now, and which sends pulse far infrared light into these neural ganglia all around the body. And I can use these frequencies. And so, what Johanna, what you're talking about with the frequency is tremendously resonant to what I'm doing as well, because what I found was that the different minds actually had frequencies, the different levels of the minds had different frequencies, and I was able to stimulate and relax and train all of these different things. My story, so that's the background. At the very beginning of COVID, and Marianne knows the story very well, but right at the very beginning of COVID, I was on version 3 of this machine, and because I'm not allowed to see any clients, so the clients can't come to see me in the clinic, I thought, well, I may as well go on the machine myself and train myself and train all my different mind levels, and also and train the physical brains as well, and do the treatment work. And so all of my work was done at a distance. So I was working with people anywhere in the world, and with my own body in a more, let's call it, receptive state. what I realized was that it was sort of like a 5-brain coherence. So the story of the treatment was that as I was lying on the table one day, I heard a voice, and this is the sort of medium type of thing that we were talking about before, but the voice was the candida in my body. And the hive mind aspect of the candida were actually talking to me, and they were explaining about the client that I was working with. So, the magic of this energetic healing work was that I'm in direct contact with somebody in another country. I'm lying on the table, with the coherent state going on between my physical brains and my minds. And I'm involved in the treatment and the healing of the candida sitting within the body of the client. And it was via the candida in my mind, in my body. So the candida in my body was talking to the candida in the client's body, who was in another country. And all of this was done energetically, like it's the case. And so I actually have written a book about this, which is not far off being published, around my conversations with candida, because having once had the conversation with a hive mind, I went after them. I wanted to have as many conversations as I possibly could. There's just so much wisdom. Anyway, that's a bit of background in my story. I'm sorry I took up so much time there, but I needed to give you a little bit of background as to the story behind, how I ended up doing this work, actually treating the candida as my client. So they were my patient. The candida was my patient.
And the interesting thing we learned here is that this kind of healing is beyond time and space.
Totally.
Which is a very interesting thing, because if we have to take a pill, we have to directly give the pill to the client, and we are in the midst of time and space. We cannot run from it. And the energetic healing opens up a totally different space. So who wants to go next and tell us a nice story?
I can actually tell a very brief story that happened to myself this morning, because that's the first thing that just came to mind. And I was waking up with a heavy emotion this morning, and I felt my whole body was going into resistance in a bit, and going into the day with that emotion. And I basically sat down with it and asked if it for the emotion to be resolved, but also just letting it be at the same time, letting go if it would be resolved or not. And really, literally 2 minutes later, there was a song in the radio that moved exactly the right piece of me, so I was able to just let it out. It was like an instant blessing in a way. So that actually came without me having to do anything. I think the only thing was really letting it go, not being too attached to if something would happen or not. But yeah, that was really like a little miracle this morning that happened.
Wow. These instant responses of the universe, they're incredible. I remember when I did lose my house because the owner wanted to move in, and I had only a short time finding something new, and with the cats it was not so easy in Greece. And after giving up my resistance, same thing, Joanna, I finally sat down on my sofa and asked for a win-win situation for everybody. 1 hour later, and a real estate person called and told me about a very nice little house, and I'm living in that house now.
Wow.
It was the same story, letting go, giving up, asking for something good, and immediate response from the outside. And this is the incredible thing about the divine. I like it so much, this magic. Britta, your story.
I don't know which one, but in the beginning, before I get a Heilpraktiker or a naturopath, I had a person who called me that her mother is in the, what is in English, coma? Mm-hmm. Coma, because she came from Kenya and had the malaria trophicana. So, and she asked me if I would like the Vormund, to be the Vormund, and the doctors are asking me if I would allowed to make a transplantation, surgery that I don't know, the Wundbrand, was das ist.
Necrosis? Necrosis?
Necrosis, yeah. So they have to cut the legs. So they have to make an amputation with their legs, both of the legs. And they asked if I would be okay with this. So I would agree. And I said, yeah, I have to think about it. And I would let you know tomorrow morning or tomorrow. And I went to her and they told me that the kidneys are not working anymore. So she had the whole life at the kidney machine. Yeah. Pardon?
Dialyse.
Yeah, dialyse. Yeah. So I went there and told her, I named her now Penny. Yeah. And I said to Penny, I make a nice music and I worked with her and I worked on her feet and I worked on her body and I was praying. It was like an intuition. And I asked the divine what I have to do, that I'm the channel, and please heal this person. And I was praying and doing and talking to her, and I said, I think it's not okay that you're going now and that you would like to have your whole life on a dialysis and also without your legs. So she was a naturopath, yeah. And I said, we have to show them that another thing is possible, yeah. We have to show that you are still alive and that you have your own life back, so as normal as you can. I went home. I was called in the early morning. What's happening? What have you done? What is happening? I said, why? Something bad or so? Is that bad news? They said, no, but it's not normal. The kidney is working and the kidney was gone, and it can't happen like that. And I said, oh, that's brilliant. So the kidneys are working. So isn't that bad or it's good? Yeah, it's good, but we don't know. We did everything. Could you come today? I said, yeah, okay. And then I said, is it possible not to, what is amputieren, to amputate? Yeah. I don't know, the legs. And they said, yeah, we have to wait. And after 3 days, everything was fine. Yeah. And she came after 1 week from coma back to life. And she has her legs and has her kidney and everything's fine. But it was very interesting because the nurse told me, I don't know, I asked them if they could please talk to her in a positive way. So that they said, hello, nice to see you, and hopefully you sleep well. And they said, she can't hear us. They said, she's gone now, she will die in 2 days. And so, and I said, hey, please, she listen everything. What the fuck? So she woke up and then she told me exactly what they were saying. Exactly what I said, what the doctor said, and it was so brilliant. I said, and they told us also, she told us also to the nurse, and they said, oh my God, this is really true. So it was really a blessing. It was a blessing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a blessing. So I had so many things which I have to tie in, to share with you. But this was a very special moment for me. And I said, yes, this is it.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, it was really beautiful for them.
Yeah, this is what the divine can do, because there's no stop to this energy. There's nothing that is impossible.
No. it's not me. It's just you got a channel, as Joanna said, as you said, Neil, and also Joanna. It's not. But when we are in this high energy, you can do everything in a positive way, naturally. Yeah.
I have a question for you all, and you know, the question's based on my observation that you know, almost all of my healing work is by virtue of me seeing the client, and I just wonder how that ties into the work that you're all doing.
Definitely giving the client the feeling you are seen. I see you. I recognize you for what you are and what your needs are and your problems are. This is the main thing of connection, I guess.
Yeah.
The main thing of getting connection to the client and gaining the trust of the client. So that finally the client can again trust in the divine, which he might not do anymore because of the troubles he or she got in. How is it for you folks?
I think the most important thing is that what you said, Marianne, that you see the person, but in the whole way. I don't see I see the pain, of course, I feel it, and I feel that he's very sad and very, not destroyed, but they have no mood anymore and no hope. But I see the whole thing. So when I see the whole person in a healthy way, so I can tell him, we can do it. I can help you. I can help you. I had a person, he came up because of his skin, because of his skin, and he told me that the medicine told him that he only have to live 3 months. I said, okay, 3 months, but why? Yeah, he had a cancer, and I said, okay, I can't feel this. I see that you maybe can live a little bit longer than 3 months, yeah, and so because I see him, or I see the whole thing, of course he did something. Of course he changed his life. Of course he changed his mood, his mindset. Of course we did a lot of things, but he's still alive and he lives very well. Because I think when you as a healer or a person see the person as a whole healthy human being, then they are also get this chance to feel it again, to get the opportunity to see as that is another path there. Maybe this path could bring me there where I want to be. This is here the end, and there are so many other paths with God to make a new life. I think you have to see him. It's like make a light, put a light on this person. So you transform him, as also Joanna did. So you transform the person. Also transformation work. When you transform the mind and also the blockades in their body, everything is flowing again. They have a flow, everything starts. It doesn't mean, it could be in 1 second, but it could be also in 3 months. Yeah, that it's make step by step. But it's amazing what happens.
So, this is not an easy thing, seeing the healthy person beyond the problem that is sitting in front of you.
Yeah. But otherwise you can't work with them. I can't work with them otherwise. If I see them only ill. Oh, your illness is only there, your back or here or there. I know this is the point of view, or this is the point, but in their body, because it's it comes out that way, yeah. But behind them, there's another big theme which you can roll up with this physical, not psychological. Jetzt kriege ich es nicht mehr raus. Psychisch?
Psychological.
Psychological. Sorry. Yeah. And then you can mix them together. So you bring it up. Sorry, my English is not that well because I wasn't speaking this a long time ago. So doesn't matter.
It's very good, Britta, and I love some of the words that you bring up, which are similar. They have a slightly different meaning, which is perfect. It's a wonderful trigger into a different way of thinking. It's actually a gift in its own right. Yeah, don't be apologetic. It's wonderful. Yeah. So that's really great. What you're both saying. Like, to me, that's a real support with what I've been observing, and particularly the idea of I talk about the idea of not following another person into their suffering, but to witness it fully. So the very first thing I do is that I don't take a snapshot of it, but I actually fully experience what their suffering is without following them into it. And that it's in that beginning that the opportunities actually spring. And I was thinking, as I was hearing you talk there, Britta, that what Mariana was talking about before, the business of being outside of time and space, because you are working with the healed person, which, technically is in another time. Yeah. And many years ago, this would be about 7-8 years ago, my clinic, there was people knocking the doors down wanting to fall pregnant. So these were women who were in vitro fertilization failure and so on. So it was many, many cases that I had coming through. And all I was doing in that situation was just witnessing that they were a mother, or they were, the couple were parents. And to do that, I had to be in a different time, because it wasn't at the moment. They'd had 2-3 years of failed in vitro fertilization. That was the reality of where they were sitting. But by being able to witness in another time, that's exactly what you're talking about. So it's so interesting. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I guess this is what it is all about, opening up to possibilities and diversity, not excluding anything just because it's unusual.
Everything is usual.
Or not normal, or you did not see it before. I remember one of my Russian teachers who helped somebody to regrow a leg. And the moment that person realized that it is not possible, the leg that already started growing and was half ready stopped growing again. Yeah. Yeah. It's all in our minds.
Yeah, it's on there.
Or when we think of Clemens Kubi, who was quite famous now, who just didn't accept that his life was going to be in a wheelchair. And so his spine and his bone marrow was totally broken. He repaired his spine and now is walking. Now he's teaching people how to do it. But first you have to be very sure about that this possibility is there.
I think you have to be open for this. And I think all the people now are also in this time, in this special time. We have so many things which disappeared, or we made very bad experiences. So maybe a shock experience was there. So you all the time like this. it's not very very easy to gain the divine. Ich krieg das nicht in Englisch hin. Ja, sorry. Es ist sehr schwierig für Menschen, die in einem Schockzustand sind und aber jetzt schon längst wieder draußen sind, aber sind immer noch angespannt. Also es ist wie ein Muskel, der immer angespannt ist, ja. So, und haben aber verlernt zu entspannen und sind immer noch in ihrem Kopf genau dort, wo sie waren, ja. Also ob sie jetzt 3 sind, 5, 20, also das Ereignis ist noch da, das haben sie nicht verarbeitet. Und aus diesem Grund ist das ganze Leben richtet sich nach dem aus, ja. Und da ist es wichtig, die Menschen abzuholen. So
Britta was talking about people being in the shock and not being able to forget the shock because it's programmed into the cells. So whether they had the shock with age of 3 or 5 or 20, they can be 50 and still be caught in the time and space of the shock. Mm. And because of that, maybe not even, they are not even possible to harness divine energy. And they need somebody who brings them back to the here and now.
Yeah.
And dissolves the old cell programs.
There's also the old program with your mother or father or grandfather or whatever in the back, yeah? You live their lives because it's not cut off. Mm-hmm. And you're thinking, I don't want to do it like my mother. No, never. But in the end, when you look back, yeah, I see, oh, I did it the same, but also only maybe in another color. But I didn't catch this presence which I got from heaven. No, I did the same things. So I said, oh my God. Yeah. And now I said, okay, don't be afraid for maybe to be different, to feel, to be a medium, to hear things. Mm-hmm. You're not an idiot. You're not ill in your mind. You hear something which is beautiful for the world.
Oh, this is another very important topic. This feeling of being different when you have abilities that others don't share. Yeah. When you're clairvoyant, you don't know, am I crazy or am I not, because the others are not. When you're seeing dwarves in the forest, like I did, am I crazy, am I not? Yes. My parents don't see them, why not? Yeah. This is a very interesting situation because many children who have abilities, they just cut them off because they want to fit in.
Of course, yeah.
They want to be loved, they want to fit in, and being different doesn't suit them. This is where we lose a lot of abilities.
It's also a very, for me, sometimes it's not understandable when persons come to my place and ask, they are very, not unhealthy, they are very ill, and we are talking about what the method could be and also the healings. And they said, I have to do this before, and to build a house, to buy a car, but they know from their illness, really, it's time. Even if you don't do something, you're gone. And I can't say to them, if you don't do something for your health, you're going into 3 months. I can't say this. Yeah, I think it's not very good to do this. But when I said, please, you have to do something now, and then you can build your house. Yeah? But they don't understand this.
Of facing real illness or even death and the own, this notion of impermanence. This is not easy.
No.
So people just distract themselves and want to do things first before they care about themselves.
Yes.
But obviously, they have to start here and there with their health. Otherwise, the house might be gone or the children will inherit it.
Yeah, you go to the cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody else will build a house. But I think this is a very special, you have to have a special feeling to tell people what's really important now for them. And if they don't want it, so you have to pray. So yeah. Even if you know everything, and if you know you are different, if you know the things will happen, it's for me very difficult sometimes.
Well, for me, what you're talking about is to do with confrontation. So having seen exactly where the person is and where they are across time frames, you then actually have to confront it. So to me, what you're talking about is the process of actually having it out in the open. Here's the situation.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, confronting things is not that easy, is it?
No.
Johanna and Joanna?
No.
No.
There's like the element of fear is,
bigger.
Is really big, yeah. And I think really that fear of death basically is behind so many of our behaviors and the distractions that we're doing. Like it all comes back to that fear of death in the end. So I really think that's one of the most important topics to face and the most difficult one for sure.
It's definitely what we are facing in these COVID times.
Of course, yeah.
The threat of death and governments and sometimes doctors, where they are playing with it and getting us in certain ways of behavior.
Yeah.
By pointing out this possibility of dying. And this is Johanna's theme with the angels, which she uses very often in the old people's home, giving the intention to angels and giving an easier way out, easier way of dying. Maybe you want to talk about that?
People have, I think, there's a point they have to make a decision. They are invited to, and he's the main person, and they're allowed to make a decision. And for me, it helps me to do physical everything I can, that they don't suffer. And I'm inviting spirits, Mother Mary, Kuan Yin, situations undone from the childhood, and invite the angels to help them to make a good sleep, to transformation overnight, so they can feel loved, feeling not alone. Nobody's allowed to come in, maybe special after testing. And I feel blessed to be at the side by the people and invite everything that will help. I don't have to know, especially. I can invite and hold the hand and bring to drink, yeah. But the main work the people have to do by their own, and then there's a part that it's done and you can relax and rest.
And still we see the same thing, that there are a lot of possibilities even in these COVID times, which we do not have as normal naturopaths or doctors, when the family is not allowed in the room, the angels are.
Yeah.
You cannot keep an angel out of a room. So in reality, nobody is lonely.
No.
Or alone, never, in no occasion.
It's only when we cut off of the divine.
Mm-hmm. Now that is a very lonely space. Being cut off of the divine is very, very lonely, dark, and insane place.
Yeah.
I also feel like one very important learning in our times is opening up for asking for help. Like, I think that was one, like for me, it was a very, very big learning, like letting go of that I can do it by myself and like trying to fight everything through by myself and not being able to surrender. And I feel that decision really I'm open for help and I'm asking for help is so, so important, to invite everything in and just start the process basically of healing.
You have to be able to accept her and ask for it.
Yeah, also to accept the situation where you're in now.
Mm-hmm.
I had a patient, he was in palliative, and I was asked if I would come for helping him with the divine spirit. And I said, okay, I will go there. And I was very berührt, not shocked, but berührt. Touched, yeah, I was very touched. And he was such, he was young, he was erfolgreich, he had children, he had money, he was rich, he was everything, but he was so angry that he has this illness now, and that he will gun, and that he can't do anything. Mm-hmm. And so I said, okay, yeah, okay, Naturopath, I had the best one, and he's always in Moscow. And I said, oh, why you are here now? Yeah, he's the best. And I said, okay, what could I do for you? And he said, yeah, we can talk about the divine. When you are the ability, maybe you can do something. And I said, oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I were talking with him, and I were touching him, and we were talking, and he was so angry. He was really angry. It was not very easy to work with him. But I hope that there will be a change and a wonder. And I was asking for a wonder. And we were talking, and he said, yeah, you asked me these questions, and I don't want this, and I don't want to go inside myself and to see anything. I said, yeah, okay. And then I was very, was heißt vorsichtig? Very cautious. And after 1 week, I had this feeling. I saw somebody sitting on his shoulder, and said, okay, the wonder is now. It could be a wonder. And he said at that moment, Britta, I'm ready for the wonder now. I'm ready. I could live, or I'm going. And both of them are really okay. I'm in peace. And it was a very emotional situation, and it was fantastic that he was open, that he opened his mind and his heart to get this divine energy to go in peace. He was very, very peaceful. He was like a big light afterwards. Mm-hmm. It was a very touchable situation. And I was very thankful to help him in this way.
It's not an easy thing to help somebody to accept.
No, but you can. We worked. With his stubborn and also with his blockades. So, and he recognized that he made a lot of mistakes. It doesn't mean that he's wrong or that he's a bad person. It was just that he recognized he had changed something, and now he was so peaceful, and he said, okay, believe that there's something else in the words of God. I feel that you're an angel, or you feel that this is possible, and I'm open now to the wonder of change. I could go or I can stay. And this was the perfect, it was brilliant. And yeah, and two friends and me, we were staying with him then. And it was very interesting how a person go in really good mood and peace, in peace. Yeah.
There are many different ways to die.
Yeah.
But if somebody has the blessing to die in peace and in a good mood and in trust, this is a real miracle.
Yeah, this was wonderful.
Neil, you wanted to say something?
No, just it's fascinating to hear what people have got to say now. That's great.
But I think we are here to help people with his, with our energy and energetic, divine energy, to help people to live, not to die. But this story comes up. Sorry.
Not our decision to make.
No.
It's between, very often it's between the client and the divine where it goes.
Yeah.
You're just facilitating the way.
Yeah, you see the way, but I think the important thing is that the client or the patient have to feel it. Das ist eine Gnade. Was heißt Gnade?
It's mercy.
Mercy.
One of the things that's been persistent recently with my patients has been responses to the tremendous psychic experience that's been going on with the COVID. So, on the call here, we've got 5 of us who are all, quite happy about the fact that we have a psychic capability. So it's not something that upsets us. We're not concerned about this, but for most people, this is totally denied. So there's an absolute denial around it. And of course, everybody's psychic. So when you're talking about, I'm happy that I'm viewed as being different. I'm happy that I'm the same. I'm happy that I die or I live. So it's the same sort of thing that you're talking about there, Britta. It's not a concern to me that I have capacity in a psychic sense. And it's not a concern, that other people, are different or the same or whatever. Anyway, what I've been noticing has been the experience of all of this psychic noise and the focusing of it, so that it's become so consistent. And so, consistent's a good word for it. So in other words, the emotional belief systems, all of those things have become incredibly consistent around the world. And what I've been observing is this upswing in physical as well as psychological issues that are arising from the fact that the person recognizes that they're getting a whole lot of information coming in from somewhere at some level, and their conscious mind is in total denial of this. And so they're becoming increasingly fearful, mistrustful, and by the time they come to see me or talk to me on the Skype or whatever, they're completely paranoid. So like they're paranoid about the fact that there's all this information flowing around and they're getting it, but they don't know where it's coming from and they don't understand how they're getting it. You know, there's this tremendous unwillingness to actually accept and love themselves. So, you know, what you're talking about with that patient, you know, who you're talking about, the wonder, that's a big jump, you know. So for my patients that I'm talking about who are suffering from a wide range of physical and psychological presentations, so they're all different diseases that they're presenting with, but the underlying issue is that they recognize that they're actually getting information and they don't know how they're getting it, and it's so fear-provoking. I just, you know, wonder what, you know, you all are sort of observing similar things, or do you, what do you see in there and what I'm talking about?
That's brilliant.
It's definitely that more and more people are getting something of hearing and seeing and knowing, but don't know where the data come from and don't have experience in interpreting the data.
Mm-hmm.
So people go out, hug a tree, find it very nice, but get some energy from the tree, don't know really how to cope with it, and get afraid. Because they cannot cope with the power of the tree or something, whatever. It's not important what the fact is. The thing is that we are not trained from childhood in getting the data from our environment. We are not trained in getting the data from animals, from plants, from the elemental forces, and let alone the angels and the spirits.
That's right. And
the ghosts that walk here with us.
Through the door, yeah.
Yeah, and some see it, some don't. I just remember Eike was just writing a comment on that he happily helped somebody with a concussion who got back to work quite soon. And I remember when Eike and Sandra were here, suddenly the door of my house opened and we all did see some kind of energy entering the room. And the first thing Eike said is, if you open the door, you can as well shut it. The door was shut. So we all looked at each other. And then I remembered what my great-great-grandfather told me, which is, every good spirit bows to the Lord. Please tell me what this is all about. And then the spirit started talking and we all could hear it somehow, that he lost his wife and he was looking for his wife. And we learned that they had an accident down at the road and he was not sure what happened, but we got it that probably both of them died, and we could tell him that his wife is not here and that maybe he should look for a brilliant light or an angel and could get help there. And quite soon he was gone.
Yeah.
And
it was peaceful, no?
Very often, very, very often, not only in my life, but we don't have the grannies or great-great-grandmothers and fathers who tell us how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Most people just would get terribly afraid and think of horror movies and run away. And that has
also the parents. I'm sorry. Sorry.
I finished.
Because also the parents, if a child would tell you, I've seen a ghost or I listened something, the parents said, oh, you're stupid, it doesn't exist, yeah? I had so many children in my lessons or in my praxis, and we worked with the horse, and then the child was telling me something, and then the father said, doesn't exist, you can't tell this, you know this. And I said, hey, stop, you're walking a little bit around. And we were talking, and then I said, what did you see? Yeah, da, 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 da. I see a person walking through my room. And I said, okay, and what do you feel? And then she was telling me about, and I asked the father, and the father said, yeah, the problem is that she's, was heißt Bettnässen? She
pees in the bed at night.
Yeah, she pees in the bed at night, and she said, there's a person in my room, and he's searching, he's looking forward to find something, and he wants to take me with him. And the father said, this is a stupid thing, she's dreaming. I said, no, she doesn't dream, so maybe I can visit your house. I feel there's a person who is looking forward because there's something happening. So he said, oh yeah, okay. So we went there, and the child said, I named her Jana, and Jana said, oh, this is fine, you are listening to me, and I show you my room, and there was a oven, yeah, in the at the wall, and she said, there is the voice, and there's the person. The man is coming out and said, I take you with me because you are my child. I said, okay. Mm-hmm. So I was asking the room if I'm allowed to, and I asked Divine, and so I was listening, and there was a man who lost his child, his girl, and by accident, and he thought that this is his child. Mm-hmm. So he's told me, I'm not going out of this room. Instead, I have this girl. And I said, yeah, but she isn't your girl. She's Jana, and she's not Lola. Yeah, but it's the same. She's the same age, and this is my child. And I was talking, and he was telling me the whole story. And then I said, is it possible that you can stay here and get a relationship with her, but don't scare her, because she couldn't sleep, she can't go to school anymore, she can't do anything because she's totally afraid, and her parents doesn't believe her. And she said yes. He said yes, but I'm looking forward to find my girl. And I said, okay, but this is not your girl. Your girl is in heaven already, and you can't go there because she's waiting there for you. You don't go to any different flats or houses, and we'll find her there. And we made a process. He was okay with it, and then he was gone. And it was very interesting that the girl said also then, she came in the room, and I said, is something different now for you? Do you feel something? She said, yeah, it's a different energy. I said, different energy. Mm-hmm. But he was there. I said, yes, he was there. And so she saw it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's not allowed. And so it was gone. So she was fine then afterwards. But the parents said, we are sorry that we didn't listen to our daughter, but I think this is not normal. I said, what is normal? Yeah, what is normal? Mm-hmm. So, but it's what you said, Mary, and that therefore I came to this, that it's not normal, and they will cut off their feelings, their channel from the divine.
They're just not used to it anymore, and we are not off of it.
Yeah, and also even what you said, you work with it now. The whole. A lot of people are open now for this, but they are scary. And then afterwards, after the treatment, maybe they had the same problems. In the beginning, I made treatments. I had the same problem. I had this stomach ache, or I had ache here and ache there, and I had the same thoughts what they had. And I said, no. I have to learn how to put them away from me, because otherwise I get ill. When I work with people like this.
Being too empathic, working with ghosts is no good idea.
No.
I know I'm monopolizing, but I got another story to tell. So I apologize to you other ladies that perhaps aren't getting enough opportunity to speak, but I've done a lot of work with the unseen world. So like these are spirits and that kind of thing. And they're, in many cases, they are the deceased and that sort of thing. And probably for up until about 5 years ago or 7 years ago, I would work to effectively exorcise, so carry out a violence towards a spirit. About 7 years ago, I realized that committing a violence against a spirit is, ridiculous. It's an absolutely ridiculous thing to do, and, absolutely unkind. And, it's just not wholesome. There's nothing wholesome about doing that. And so I began to collaborate with them to work out ways that we could collaborate and cooperate with one another. And, one of the nicest experiences actually happened at the beginning of this year. And I help a lady out who's not physically capable of doing her own gardening. And so I go and give her a hand to do some gardening. And every time I would go into this woman's garden, I would see why she was suffering from a psychiatric problem herself, because the garden had the most, outrageous energy in it. And so at the beginning of the year, I thought, well, I can't leave all this other stuff back at the clinic. I need to exercise, my skills of communication here in the garden. And so I entered into a conversation, and it turned out it was a little girl who had died, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, before white people came to Australia. And she died under very tragic circumstances. And the culture, the interesting thing was the spirit actually had maintained the culture of the people. So we're talking about the original people of Australia here. And in the case, they have this wonderful approach that you have song lines. And with the song lines, as you're walking, you sing, and you can identify where you are and where you're going and that type of thing. And the little girl was talking, she's actually here in the room with me at the moment. And what she was talking to me about was that she lost all connection to the song lines, because the original song lines that she knew as a child didn't apply in the abusive circumstances that led to a death. So, the circumstances of a death that was completely outside of the context of the culture. And yet the culture remained, because it was about, that she'd lost context of where she was. And so I immediately began singing with her, and we sang our way up and down the river near to where she, where this garden was, this lady's garden. And we found our way to the sea. We sang our way all the way down to the sea, and we sang our way up into the desert. And, we had all of this experience, and she no longer needed to be there persecuting this lady who owned this garden. She absolutely didn't, because she could sing. She could sing her way up and down, all of these paths that she was going on. And 6 weeks later, when I went back to give this lady another hand with the garden, I was observing that there was none of this sort of destructive energy from the little girl at all. And instead, I called out to her and I started singing, and she immediately popped back again, and we had a song, big old sing, and we sang a whole lot of other song lines. So we went in other directions, and it was interesting. The first time it was actually refinding her original song lines, and that they still existed. The second time when I worked with her, it was about establishing brand new song lines. So it was actually finding new ways to navigate and to understand where she was. It was exceptionally beautiful. It was an amazing experience. And I think why that example has popped into my mind, apart from the fact that the little girl's just come here to talk, for me to actually talk about her experience, but it's that the culture can actually play a really incredibly important part in the context of what's being talked about, or what what's happening. Anyway, so apologies again for monopolizing.
No, it's very interesting.
And I feel also very powerful, the whole conversation, to the topic that you actually brought up in the beginning, that people are so fearful. And I feel that's the healing, is actually talking about it in a way that it's normal and it's peaceful, and that there can be a normal relationship, and that it's nothing to be scared of, even if it's unfamiliar and not known. I feel that it already had like a healing effect on me now, that whole conversation. I feel to be more open and just seeing what's there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, Neil, when COVID first established itself, we talked to the virus.
Mm.
And the virus answered you. You asked the virus, what's your name and what you're all about? And the virus said, I am pressure.
That's right. I am the pressure was what the virus answered. Yeah. So.
Intending that it came to waken humanity up.
Of course, yeah.
Give us the opportunity to choose to wake up if we wish to, I think is probably the best way to describe it.
Yeah.
Assist us in the opportunity.
And we will see what will happen.
Yeah, but it's a new way to go, to turn your way into love, not into fear. If you stay in fearness, you will see the darkness, and if you are cut off of the divine energy, you're in a real lonely space. Yeah, and you need help to get out of this lonely space, because it's a tunnel. It's not a tunnel. It's a hole. It's a mess. And as Joanna said, we have to pray and we have to ask for help. Please help me. Please help me. And you have to be open. And then it could you get wonder. You invited wonder into your life. And it's like this then.
We're just not used to it. All the people who are in hospital, in the ICU units, maybe being intubated, they're not asking the divine for help.
Yeah.
They're just not thinking of it because they're not trained to do it.
Yeah, but some people said, I was asking, and I was, Freitag, you don't Murphy, they are such a long time on the book market, yeah. But if I say every day, I'm free, and helpful, I'm rich, but I don't feel it, so nothing happens, nothing, yeah. Because my old program, they're playing, yeah, behind my stream. So you have to train another muscle, not this muscle. You have to train your heart muscle, your mind muscle, your trust, yeah, to believe in something. Not, I want to have this, yeah. So you have to be allowed to ask for.
I'm just remembering Nick Vujicic, the man who was born without limbs, and his quarrel with God that he wanted to give up unless the divine finally would answer him. Why? And the only answer he did get was, trust me. And now that man who was born without limbs has a very beautiful wife and children and a proper job. Everything turned out for him. And it's very often that the only answer you get from the divine is trust me.
But I think this is the most difficult thing for people. I had the same theme when I was knocked out because of a shocked situation. So I was knocked out, and nobody had this feeling to give me the hand or to heal my heart that I trusted. So I had to work it out by my own, and it was a not very easy way. And I think it's you have to believe, as you told now, to believe, to trust.
I also feel there's like that osmosis effect in a way. If you're like surrounded by somebody who is emanating that trust and who's like fully embodying that trust, then it kind of starts moving over to you slightly. Like you get the feeling that it is possible. Like that's the embodiment of it on earth, kind of, that then can enlighten others around.
This is what we're working with, no?
Mm.
Yeah.
We sort of almost go back to the beginning of the conversation, don't we, where you're actually witnessing trust yourself. So as a practitioner, in the observation, you observe and witness trust. That is something that you witness. We've gone around a circle.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the point. Witness, trust, believe, yeah, and doing, and then to trust yourself. I'm going with it. I give a commitment for myself. I don't listen to other people and they said, "Oh, it's stupid what you're talking about. It doesn't exist like that. You have to do like this and this and this." No, I feel it. I know it. I go my path.
I think if you're old enough, you already have seen so many that were not possible, that you begin to ask questions.
Yes.
And something I want to stress is that the divine does not belong to any religion.
To any color.
No, it does not. Everybody's talking about the divine, but I think in the end, we address all the same, as Wendy calls it, systemic intelligence.
Yeah, and we are all one.
We are all one, yes.
I really feel it's also some kind of discipline in the end to actually build that relationship and let it grow. Like really getting back to it on a daily or whatever basis to allow it to evolve slowly and not expect to, okay, I'm fully believing now from not believing at all. Like really making that commitment that I would like to experience that relationship and I'm willing to invest in it, invest my time in it and connect with it, and then witness how it grows.
It's the same practicing you brush your teeth. Yeah. So you're practicing to meditate, but it's not good only to meditate under the tree. You have to do it. You have to do something. You have to feel it. Only to say, everything is fine, but in your mind is said everything is bad. It's a practice. As you said, it's commitment. You have to commit, and it's a training. It starts. And then you get better and better.
And we definitely need lonely moments for that.
Yeah. And peace. Oder Stille, quietness. Yeah. But with your iPhone, it's like, oh, yeah. Oh, it's midnight. I have to go to bed. I don't have the time for listening to the divine voice. Oh, he was knocking on the door and said, "Hey, Britta. Hey." I said, "Oh, I don't have the time. I have to do it. I'm so busy. I'm so busy." And you don't listen to it. Yeah.
That actually happens very often, I guess.
Yeah. So, zart, was heißt also? It's very soft. Yeah. The voice is very soft. It's not loud. It's not saying, "Hey, wake up." It's like, "Hello. Wake up."
And most of the time people are waiting until they're in bad need. Yeah. And they are yelling and calling and yeah.
And then with one pill and one injector, you have to heal them.
Yeah.
And put the hands on and everything is fine. I said, sorry.
The instant miracle in the bottle.
Yes. In the bottle.
To be dissolved immediately.
Yeah.
No, this is not.
I want to. Sorry. I just wanted to follow up on what Johanna was talking about. you know, like you have to ask the question. So like a question has to be asked, and then whatever spirit or guide or the divine or whatever it is that's going to respond. And then you need to be in a situation or you know, with the vibration or the frequency needs to be appropriate so that you can then actually begin to witness or hear it. As I've been doing all of this work, especially with using this jolly machine that sort of gets my brains into such a deep sort of state, what I've found is that depending on what the topic is, so I can be asking, you know, many different kinds of subjects and following down different subjects, either for a client, for a patient, or for myself, or, you know, what's happening in the world, what I should be doing, blah, 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 lots of different ways of things that we could be doing. And depending on what is being talked about, different guidance arrives. And this is something that's really surprised me, is the scope and breadth of the type of guidance which is available and how selective it is, you know, how selective that guidance is. So, for example, you know, I don't often have a conversation with a specific virus or a bacteria or hives of bacteria or hives of fungus or whatever, but occasionally I do. But they only ever come to have a conversation with me if there's an appropriate topic. So I have to be meditating and contemplating and asking around a specific topic. And then whoever it is that might be available will be available. And it's very similar to, you know, what you're pointing out there, Johanna, is that for most people, they have to be being screamed at before they're going to be prepared to even begin to ask a question, let alone listen to it. And Britta, what you're saying about the phone, you know, I'm busy, I'm distracted and all that kind of stuff. Well, you know, how can we help people? How can we help more people to just be asking questions and waiting? You know, like I ask the question, I'm silent, I wait. How do we help people to do that?
They have to clean up.
Slow down, clean up.
Even if you're not clean in yourself, you can't listen. You just listen your own ego and whack, doesn't work, doesn't go, you're not good enough, you're a job, blah, 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 blah. I have to want this, I want to be skinnier, I want to be richer, I want. Yeah. I think they need help. A lot of people need a person as you or Johanna, Joanna, Marianne, to help them to come in their own real light.
Yeah, and maybe lockdown will hurt, but often lockdown can help these days.
Lockdown will help you coming into your light.
Mm-hmm.
It could help. This is what Rajan Shankaran said. He said this epidemic might be a turning point.
Of course, 21st of December, it's a turning point.
Yeah.
The energy will come now.
Might be the turning point that people really take time, sit on the sofa, and find the possibility to talk to a guide of consciousness. At least have a try.
And they have a choice. Yeah. I know people, they went all the time out of themselves, went out, discotheque, blah, blah, blah. Even if there's space, okay, they can do it. But now it's not allowed anymore. So they listen to, they watch TV the whole day TV. But it's getting boring, yeah? So now at the point of change, they don't watch TV anymore. I said, wow. Even if they call and said, yeah, what are you doing? Yeah, I'm reading a book. I said, wow, reading a book. You. So it's tremendous what's happening now. And then maybe I could talk to God, because when I was a child, I was talking with my parents about God and about the prayings. I said, wow. So I think it will help, because all the things what you're doing, it's as a habit, and you can't do it anymore. Even it's getting boring. The TV is getting boring all the day. watch TV, or you listen to the news, it's getting so boring. You're told it's a change. You can listen to the divine voice. You have a new radio theme.
And that won't get boring at all.
No, I'm so curious every day what will happen. Even if you're on the same level. If you listen to AFN, you don't listen to your voice. I'm in the wrong area. But it's amazing what they tell you all the day.
If you are prepared to.
Pardon?
If you are prepared to listen.
Yeah.
My dear colleagues, this was very interesting, and I hope we gave a lot of people a rethink of the divine, on connection, on the possibility of energetic healing. And I would ask you for your last statements so that we can close our discussion for today. Who wants to go first? Neil?
Okay.
I'll go first. I recently, we're talking about guidance and so on, and I had a guide, an unusual guide for me to be working with at this time, and I was talking about purpose, and the guide said, your purpose is to be a god, and immediately the red flags go up. I am off my rocker, This is crazy talk, like this is the ultimate egoic expression to think that I am a god. And so immediately I translated this message, and I translated the message to say, you should be an aspect of the divine. You should become a knowing aspect of the divine. And immediately the guide said, no, that's not what I said to you. So where I am at the moment in the management of my egoic expression is that I think everybody can be a god. This I can allow.
Good.
Thank you. Next.
Okay, you go.
I made the experience, my spirits are doing like having a challenge, showing me how it works, how they can help. I only have to listen to back to call, say thank you, and open my mind and see the Ergebnisse, the gifts they are coming. Yeah. And they are doing like a challenge. Yes.
Joanna?
What just came to me is really the choice that we really have every day, and the choice that we have to choose love every day in every little small situation, and even irrespective if we believe in the divine already or not, or whatever we believe, that's the outcome of it in the end. So that's the choice that we are called to make every day in every situation, and start seeing the beauty in all the small things that are surrounding us, even if we're alone with ourselves and locked down. And yeah, just being very conscious about what we're choosing in each moment.
Good. Yeah, I'm very happy I'm glad to be a representative of the divine energy, and as you already told, that it's the decision of your own to train your heart, to train the love, energy, and to be in your energy and not in your poor, suffering energy. It's the most important to ask yourself which kind of wolf you would like to feed, the bad one or the good ones. And even if you feed the good ones, the bad ones you can recognize and say, oh, hi, you're also there. But feed the good ones and you will get good result. You will get receive good results. Results. So, results. Yeah. You are in peace, and we are all one. So the divine energy is around us. We can feel it.
It's in the air.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
So for all our listeners, there's a very rich world beyond the visible and hearable. And everybody is invited to participate in this wonderland. Just give it a chance. So it was very nice having you here with me today, and hopes to see you soon.
Thank you very much for the invitation, Marianne. Thank you very much for all.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, ladies. Yeah.